अस्सलाम वालेकुम, वेलकम टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल। मैं हूं मोहम्मद शफाकत। आप सब जानते हैं हमारा यूट्यूब चैनल देखते हैं बड़ी शौक से, सियासी बातें करते हैं। वी टॉक अबाउट पॉलिटिक्स, वी टॉक अबाउट स्पोर्ट इज वेल, एंड वी आल्सो टॉक अबाउट एंटरटेनमेंट। बहुत कुछ इस चैनल में आएगा इंशाल्लाह। ऑलराउंडर मैं भी अपने आप को समझता हूँ, अब्दुल रज़ाक की तरह या शायद अफरीदी की तरह। आज पता चलेगा मुझे मैं कितना ऑलराउंडर हूँ, बिकॉज टुडे आई हैव गॉट माय डियर फ्रेंड, माय बहुत ही पुराने बीबीसी के दौर के मेरे पुराने कॉलीग, वी गो बैक अ लॉन्ग लॉन्ग टाइम। एंड उनसे हम बात करेंगे जो बड़ी ब्रेकिंग स्टोरी है पाकिस्तान से क्रिकेट के शौकीन के लिए। बिग ब्रेक थ्रू हुई है पाकिस्तान में। क्या हुआ, कैसे हुआ? एंड इट वाज वेरी वेरी a bit of a shocker for people like me as well, who's kind of stopped, very disillusioned, stopped watching a lot of cricket. But today we're going to talk about the fallout after the New Zealand tour, and with me none other than my dear colleague Masood Sadiq Saab from Bradford, broadcaster hai, but now साथ he's a big cricket fan. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how his blood pressure is. But anyway, Masood Sadiq Saab, nice to have you on Shafaqat Factor, my YouTube channel, and let's talk cricket. How are you, my dear friend, and how's Bradistan?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Thank you very much for that long introduction. In terms of a long time friendship, इसका थोड़ा सा बात किया करें क्योंकि भाई it goes a long way and just gives our age away. Congratulations on the setting up of your YouTube channels. I mean, we attempted it last year. We're revamping ourselves, so we should be back soon, inshallah. Hopefully, you'll be a guest on that as well. The other thing you said, how do I cope with watching the cricket and everything else? You know, when go back a few years, I had a full head of hair, and now you see what happens after watching the cricket.
Mine is still there, you see, because I stopped.
Yeah, this is it. Why
2019 World Cup, because me and your good friend, my brother-in-law as well, Akil Ahmed, we went to watch the West Indies match in the 2019 World Cup, and we were home at 2 o'clock. I thought, you know what,
Yeah.
that's me done.
Yeah,
I understand. Deep down, we're all green and white. We plead green and white. But, you know, I've just got a bit disillusioned. But anyway, Masood, you know, this Pakistan's worked very hard. PCB, give them credit. This Wasim Khan guy especially, and we worked very hard to bring cricket back after the Sri Lankan attack. I think it was way back in 2009, and I was in Pakistan at that time as well. I still remember, and it really broke my heart. We're a cricket-loving nation. You drive through from Rawalpindi to where we are in Patwar, and every field and everywhere you see cricket matches, and you know, the love of the game, the superstar players we produced for Imran Khans, the Javed Miandad, the Sayyid Anwars, the Waqar, the Wasims, the Inzis, the Yusufs, and today, and the Shahid Afridis. But I mean, all of a sudden we worked there. We had the Pakistan Super League played in Dubai, and slowly we moved the semis, then the final, then the whole tournament. We had international players coming to Pakistan. And all of a sudden, after all that, all of a sudden, on the morning of this one day in Rawalpindi, 1 hour before, there's a security alert. We need to leave Pakistan. Boom. Everything is just dejected. The whole nation is really down on this. Where does Pakistan cricket stand today after all this?
It's a very difficult question, and it's a very difficult situation because, like I said, the incident that took place in 2009, Pakistan have worked tirelessly to get things back to, normal, so bring the cricket back to Pakistan. Obviously, they started off initially with the PSL going back to Pakistan, and then Wasim Khan has been doing a brilliant job. He comes a lot of criticism because, like you and myself, he's a British passport holder of Pakistani origin, and there was a lot of kind of rhetoric that I heard from Pakistan. Why is somebody coming from there to sort our cricket out?
Yeah.
He's done wonders. I mean, we all have our own shortcomings and stuff. So he's done a great deal of work. He's been blonde. He works, tirelessly to get these tours back on. I think the sad thing is after all this, the fact that we've given all these countries have toured in the last 5-6 years, all the players have loved playing in Pakistan.
Yep.
You can see from their tweets and stuff like that. But it seems that it is nothing to do with cricket. There's a bigger game being played as a backdrop to what's happened in the last couple of days. Last 48 hours have been absolutely devastating for Pakistan cricket. And really, you expect the cricketing world to come to support, but it seems that there's a divide. The big five eyes where it seems to where the information seems to have got to the New Zealand security people across in New Zealand. And when there's a security issue, you would hope or you would think that they would share it with the host country so that that can be dealt with. You can't have
the ISI, which is one of the most prominent agencies, and if they don't know, if ISI don't know there's an imminent threat to the New Zealand team, the Five Eyes, the 3 o'clock in the morning, they woke up Wasim Khan, said there's just his interview today. He's very upset. They woke him up, there's a threat. And they're not sharing the threat with Pakistan. How can you not share a threat with the country that you're touring? At least tell them where the threat is from.
Yeah, you cannot deal with the threat if you don't know where it's come from.
Exactly.
And that's the point. It seems to be everybody is losing that point. Nobody's asking the question, how can you deal with something if you know nothing about it?
Exactly.
Like you said, ICI is one of the best ones in the world, and that's quite, everyone accepts that. And if they are saying this country is safe, which it is at the moment, I was there a couple of years ago when the Sri Lankans were touring, and they were extremely happy.
And Sri Lanka is the team that actually got physically attacked for them to converge. And then some of the PCL, I mean, look at the Gales and the Darren Samis, the tweet yesterday by Gale about I'm coming to Pakistan, who's coming with you. It's gone viral. The whole nation in Pakistan says, that's just for you to say that is enough for us. Give credit to all the players. I'm not blaming the New Zealand players. They do as what the government tells them. But and then the time when New Zealand was under attack, a terrorist attack, and COVID, Pakistani players went there, stayed there in quarantine. And despite the favors we've done for England in difficult times, for Bangladesh, for Sri Lanka, everybody, why is it Pakistan always is, treated in this way? I mean, do we really need to stand up and speak up now and say enough is enough? Because, Pakistan's lost a lot of people in these wars, war that was not of our making. And then we can't even play cricket. I mean, this is something, at least let the people enjoy the cricket after the pandemic.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, that's a sad thing about it, because we've come to help everybody. In their hour of need in England, the ECB would have collapsed last year if it wasn't for the likes of West Indies and Pakistan to Victoria. We've done the same with New Zealand under the situation, the COVID situation. Our players suffered, and I think yourself, if we were to isolate, fortunately, alhamdulillah, I've not gone through that at the moment, but people who I know have gone through the 10 days of at home.
Yeah.
Right. And the mental stress with that involved. Can you imagine for being on months and months on tour without having to see any members of your family? All you're seeing is the hotel. That, and then to play cricket to a level and to support another cricketing nation so they can get them out. I think it seems that everyone's forgotten that bit of Pakistan. The hand of friendship or hand of support from Pakistan gone out of the way, and it's just gone completely.
Let's look at some comments as well. The Asghar Rashid is saying there are ultra motives to discredit Pakistan, and also if ISI is unaware of any threat, where has the information come from? A lot of people on social media has gone crazy, but I don't understand what is the implications are. Look, England is saying next 48 hours. Then Australia was supposed to be coming, other countries next year. The World Cup is around the corner, T20. Pakistan had about 7 to 10 matches to practice. That's gone out to the window if England don't turn up. I mean, and the stock exchange dropped to 200 points. Tourism can get affected. It's not just about cricket. Overall, Pakistan's image has been dented, and the Kiwis really need to realize that they've done a lot of damage to Pakistan's reputation here. On the world stage, it's all over the press.
Yeah, and you've got to think about just only a fortnight back, Pakistan was a safe place for everyone's
to evacuate
everybody, to the armies, the American armies, the NATO army, or the diplomats from Afghanistan. They all landed a country which now they're saying there's a security threat to a cricket team. Yeah. So, if there was a security threat to anybody, it would be the army, forces of any country. And they were okay to stay in Pakistan.
And we've seen the protocol. They've got presidential security. And I was in Pakistan, I can't remember which time came. And even that time, it was such a, like a presidential, there's cars, there's helicopters in the air, and they go from the hotel straight to the stadium, straight from stadium back to the hotel. And that's it. Yes. So, I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, England, they're going to decide as well. If they cancel as well, do you think, let's just look at England. Do you think they're going to cancel?
I think they will. Sadly, I can't see England.
What chances? 80, 90% chance?
Yeah, 80% chances England are going to cancel it. It's just, again, the so-called Five Eyes They are always involved in it. They've seen the
The
so-called
Five Eyes need
threat.
to tell one eye in Pakistan what we've got eyesight. I mean, the Five Eyes are watching, but they're not telling the country,
Yeah.
one of the world's most superior agencies, that, oh, well, we can't share it with you. Come on, Masood bhai. This is just unbelievable. How can you not share it? Okay, they don't need to tell the public. They can tell they can tell the Pakistan government at least, and they don't need
Yes.
to share it as well. But that's fine. But at least they're not telling the government as well. This is, I mean, come on. And they were there for 10 days, if I'm right.
Yes. They've been there since last week.
Yeah, so everything was
Again,
okay. The
again,
tea,
that's
we
yeah,
make
that's
fantastic tea, Masood. We're champions for making nice
proof in the
tea.
pudding. Tea's here.
Exactly.
On cue.
Try.
On cue.
Yeah, Bilkul, we make good tea, and people know, everybody knows we're good tea makers. So everything is quite safe. You can ask few people who try to land in Pakistan, and we're very hospitable. We gave them tea and sent them back. I don't know. Honestly, this is just, if Pakistan, a country that's lost 80,000 people, $150 billion revenue in a war that, and then despite that, you don't let this country even enjoy a game of cricket. After 10
Yeah.
years, we've been playing in Dubai and everywhere. And despite that, we went to the top of the test rankings. I just don't understand it, honestly. And how are we going to, you can see the bit of, I give credit to Ramiz Raja. He gave a very good press conference yesterday. Well, a video. He was very optimistic, and everybody else saying, keep your chin up and look, let's show them in the World Cup and everything. But, deep down, they must be thinking, right, we're back to square one, and how are we going to get people back into Pakistan again? So I don't know how you seen this panning out now. Diplomacy, how?
There's got to be a lot of work done, but one of the things that Wasim has said, that Pakistan will not play any of their home matches abroad in another country. I think that's a good step, because we've got to put foot down. We've actually worked out with everybody. We've been accommodating. Yes, the incident took place in Pakistan. We've actually suffered for it. We paid the kind of penalty for it over the years and stuff. We've travelled. Pakistan have played matches in England as a home match of the series against Australia 2010, and they play most of their matches for so many years that they actually played in the UAE. Azhar Ali, I think, played 71 test matches. They had not played in Pakistan.
No.
And that's
yeah, it's sad. It's sad. I mean,
sad.
IPL is starting as well today. I mean, the Indian cricket team abandoned a test match, walked off.
To play
play IPL. I mean, I don't know. Where is cricket now? I mean, the test match is already losing interest. I mean, if you look at it, youngsters are more interested in T20. How many people watch test cricket? And you're taking out one of the greatest testing nations in the world that, people pay to watch Pakistan. I went to World Cup in 1999. I remember that World Cup. I went to a lot of the matches, and Shoaib Akhtar was on fire, mashallah. Real Pindi Express, what a young man he was. He was in peak, starting his career. But people I've talked to, England supporters, they love Pakistan. Australian supporters, everybody loves. Even the Indian commentators, you look at them, they're always praising Pakistan bowlers. You're taking a country like that, you're demoralizing a nation that's gone through thick and thin, and then you expect the Pakistanis. Like I agree with Steve Khan saying that we're not gonna play outside Pakistan. But overall, I don't know. It's just made a very very difficult time for Pakistan cricket, and hopefully common sense will prevail with England. But I just don't see England going, and like you said yourself as well, in Australia next year. So really, what else Pakistan can do? I mean, what else can they do, and how can they win the hearts and minds of other nations to visit Pakistan now?
Well, I think like you said, social media says a lot of things, and people who actually go to Pakistan, the YouTubers, we regularly see that reality of Pakistan. But at the moment, what we tend to see in terms of a particular media, mainstream media, they have a particular narrative, and they always follow that. You and I have been watching news, and we've been involved in news services, we've been involved BBC, we've been involved all sorts of radio, etc. It seems every single time you hear reports from example, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, all the African countries, it's always the negative side that is portrayed. I've been fortunate enough to actually visit West Africa there about 10 years ago. And the beauty of the countries I saw was amazing. And yet I had a different image in my head before going. Something that was actually an image created by the media. Okay.
The thing is, you raised I want to pick up on this here. That is India safe? Is England safe? Australia? Everywhere, anywhere? New Zealand? There was a terrorist attack. So how do you define who's safe? And look, there was a threat, information.
Yes.
You just
Yes.
packed up your bags 1 hour before the match, packed up and left with the same security forces, like Hafiz said, Professor Saab said, with the same army, with the same forces. They took you to the airport. That was okay. That was safe. But you can't
Yes.
play in there. I mean, it just, at the moment, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. Maybe we're crazy Pakistani cricket fans. We're really, really in a bad mood. Maybe we're very just Batikov. You know that. And this World Cup T20, I'm going to be getting my Pakistan top out again. We need, that's one thing we need to send a message on. So this T20 World Cup, as Asghar saying as well, that their preparations have been effective. The whole nation, cricket buff or no, people like me, I need to come out of retirement, get my dust my green t-shirt out, and we need to support Pakistan, win or lose. We just need to support them fully now and back them. I think that's the something, and I want that message coming from you as well.
Yeah, certainly. I think that would be a great message to the world. Go out there, play your heart out. We don't need a coach now. We don't need anybody. We don't need a management. All our team talks have been done once.
Like
we're in this tight corner. We're corner tigers once again.
Inshallah.
And it's time that the corner tigers came out and won. Whenever the chips have been down, Pakistan, as you mentioned earlier, is favorite team for most people because of the unpredictability. With unpredictable side, we will come out. Same team will get out for 30. The same team will go and beat the, get world records.
Put it this way, they've aged my generation, your generation. They've aged us. They've given us blood pressure. Crazy days we've had watching this team. But then again, it's something, look, in countries like Pakistan and Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, India, and all these, people in the evening, these cricket matches on, they get together, watch together, they have fun, win or lose. It's something that we've grown up on. And it's just sad that this generation is, recently when I went to Pakistan, I saw more youngsters watching football and getting into the Chelseas and the Man Uniteds and the Messis and the Ronaldos. And you might have seen in Pakistan, they play a lot of volleyball.
Yes.
It's getting more and more because look, there's a generation that's grown up without much cricket, especially in Pakistan. If there's no cricket in Pakistan in the grounds, I've been to Rawalpindi Stadium. There was more policemen than fans, with lathi charge and everything, and the tea gasters as well for nothing. We didn't do nothing but the tea gasters. But Pakistan was playing West Indies, Waqar was playing, Wasim and Brian Lara was playing. And you imagine this generation is missing out on all these great players. So I don't know, it's sad really, but we need to keep a chin up and we need to fight back. But we're kind of getting tired, Masood. I'm kind of getting tired with this now. This game of Pakistan. We need to
be Yeah. I mean, if the likes of yourself or we remember the IRA when they were bombing mainland UK.
Yeah.
Okay. They were bomb threats. I actually, 1994, I drove over the London Bridge probably about 11 o'clock or 2 o'clock that night, because I was in London in a conference and I was going back to the hotel. And the next morning, we found out about 4 o'clock that place was bombed. Okay. Yeah. So,
there was always threats. When I was in the BBC, we used to get the...
always, loads of times. The threats were always telephone calls in the IRA coming from the IRA. The government, when they were actually staying in Brighton, the Grand, that was blown up.
That's right.
The IRA managed to set off mortar bombs outside Downing Street. Yeah. Everything else carried on.
Yeah.
That was terrorism at a very, very high point in this country. None of the sport matches were cancelled. Nothing was cancelled. Nobody left the country. Everybody played. Nobody wanted the terrorists to win. All we've done is, if it's a terrorist threat, we've allowed the terrorists to win in Pakistan. And in the process, what we've done, all the good work that Pakistani PCB, the Pakistan government, the ISI, everybody else who's involved in security in Pakistan, we've slapped them in the face and said, you guys are not good enough. Only less than fortnight before, Pakistan was the safest place in earth.
Yeah, got a commentary. He says, Asghar Rashid Saab is watching us and he's saying that bottom line, money talks and the big three rule, and we are maybe fourth rated in the world, and and then all this kind of comments there. I can't really, it's a bit far from me. But yeah, so a couple of countries running the game. BCCI is very powerful. I mean, they can walk away from a test match at Old Trafford and say, few of our players are ill. Nobody saw that, and they just jumped off onto the next flight straight to Dubai, get ready for IPL. Massive contract, 300 million contracts for IPL. It's a big money maker. But it's just quite fascinating that cricket is really, really, and a lot of people, a lot of the commentators are saying this as well. Have you had any conversations with I know all your cricketers, Yunus Khans and the Indies and all that, are very, very close to you, and Rashid Latif and that. Any contacts with them, the big boys of
Well,
Pakistan?
I spoke to Rashid briefly a couple of days ago, and I actually did invite him on that. He just sent him the link just now before you came on air, and I said, "Would you like to join us in our conversation?" But I think it's
We'll
a bit
bring
busy
him
at the
on.
moment.
Next time we'll bring him on, Rashid.
Yeah, we need to get him on.
Yeah.
Again, he's saying, let's do it silently, do it the way we will. Let's go out and play and win and show the world that we are, peace-loving nation, and we want to play cricket. That's what we want to do. We're not interested, with all these stuff. Like what you just said earlier, that it seems the world hasn't recognized to this day the number of people we've lost, Pakistan has lost to terrorism. It's 70,000.
Yeah.
Unbelievable numbers. The figures are astronomical compared to everybody else that suffered. Nobody should have suffered that. And financial implications as well. $150 billion, million dollars, $1 billion, we say. And it's the question then we have to ask is, do the Pakistani lives don't matter?
As Imran Khan said, are we children of a lesser God?
Yeah, exactly. So why is it so important?
Imran Khan, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, bringing the Prime Minister of New Zealand, and they rang him. He was in Tajikistan. I can imagine a busy conference. Despite, guess what? The New Zealand players are leaving. So he must have panicked as well, thinking, what the hell is happening here? I've come here, back home, cricket. People are going to enjoy themselves. He rang their Prime Minister, assured a Prime Minister is giving you assurance. Despite that, no, and they're not sharing details. So really, I've got a lot of respect for the Kiwis. I love their team, brilliant players. Brilliant. I'm not going to blame the team. It's government rules and regulations, but obviously the top trend in Pakistan on Twitter is against the New Zealand team as well. Obviously, it's not their fault. We can't blame the actual team. But I didn't expect that from them too, and do it in such a kind of a crude manner, and just to leave and dump Pakistan and say, there you go. And now it's given chance to other countries to, and look, tourism is going to get affected. Our stock exchange lost 200 points. It's not just about cricket. It's the image of Pakistan, who's worked so hard to show this great image of Pakistan. Tourism is boosting. The World Backpackers, British Backpacker Society said Pakistan, northern areas are the place to visit. You see it on YouTube. People are going. Our friend Asif Khan from Bradford, mashallah, he's been showing me some videos. Beautiful, beautiful. I want to go to that part of the world. But really, today we're like back to square one, and it really hurts me as a Pakistani. And I've been quite upset. And people said, "Why are you so upset?" I said, "Look, look at the bigger picture. You guys look at cricket. It's not about cricket. This is about our nation. We give sacrifices. We do so much for the world peace. And in Afghanistan, a lot of people are upset with us. We know that, obviously. But in Afghanistan, it's Pakistan who will bring the peace. It's in Qatar, we've led the talks. We've been talking to the Taliban and others to bring stability to that country. Despite all that, we evacuate people. Despite everything, sacrifices. Here we go again. Pakistan's not a safe country, and you're not even going to tell us why. I'm sorry, but this stinks to high heaven.
Yes, it certainly stinks. Well, that's it. We go back to the same, the one simple question: share the information with intelligence services. It does not have to be made public.
Don't get
nothing to do with it. That is who deals with it. You've been sharing who's helped Pakistan, the British, the West. We've safely, Pakistanis have got you out of there. Every single almost European leader was ringing Imran Khan last couple of weeks ago.
Of course.
Thanking them for getting their diplomats out, their staff out, their forces out safely. Why Pakistan? Now, suddenly, Pakistan is become a security threat for cricket. Forget everything else for cricket. And the cricket is the only, thing that brings Pakistanis together. And it's the love of thing. It's something that we all enjoy. And it has been killed for whatever reason. There's a lot more going on behind the scenes, which we are not privy to. And sadly, the whole nation of Pakistan is suffering. And like I said, I think time to buckle up, get the old cricket shirts out. I'm sure Asghar and his friends down in London, they're all watching us out there. They'll be getting it out. I certainly will be, just taking time off and watch T20. I want Pakistan to win. I mean,
in fact, what we'll do, we'll hopefully when the T20s are on, we can even do some analysis on the matches as well. And Asghar Rashid is saying too many times we have had a weak cricket board, but now we have Ramiz Raja, Wasim Khan, who has done a fantastic job, and Imran Khan at the top. And we were putting things together now, slowly but surely. Obviously, recently with Bakar and Misbah and these guys leaving, and the Pakistan team wasn't all there. But things were looking good now. But chalo, it's one of them things, and we just have to be. I'm here, Pakistani. Hum to jitenge, inshallah. We'll carry on. We'll fight back in the T20 World Cup. So, final message to the Pakistani cricket fans, Masood, from the man himself.
I just said, get behind the team, irrespective of what's happened. I mean, last week I was one of the people who said Pakistan should pull out of the T20. No, let's not pull out of the T20 World Cup. Let's go and win it. That's the way to show the world that no matter what hurdles you put up for us, Pakistan will come and going to win it. And this, like I said, they don't need, Pakistan team does not need a coach. They don't need motivational speeches. They don't need anything. Just simply get those corner tiger shirts reprinted, get them out there.
I'm not sure if my T-shirt I've got is which World Cup was it from? The World 2019. I don't think it's gonna fit me, but I'll try. Akil's watching as well, and he's agreeing with the Oscar and Oscar. Sorry, I disagree with Masood Sabai, but I don't know why he's disagreeing with you. With the
भाई जो भी है कह ले दिल खोल के बात करें
दिल खोल के कह रहे हैं अपन चैनल है शफाकत फैक्टर मसूद भाई we are all guys we are like old men having a rant. That's what we do. This is this I arranged this about 20 minutes ago. I text Masood. I said, listen, I need to get I want to talk to somebody about cricket. Let's do this. And he said, I'm free. I said 9 o'clock. Book Catalan. Get tea on. He's in Bradford. I'm in Sheffield. We're just having a rant here, but.
And they're bringing football into it. Come on, Akil, get off your high horse, you Man U fans. I know Shafakal Bhai, let's put the leagues and football leagues in.
Akil to bring his football there.
He had to bring his football in. Honestly, I know you guys have pumped us last couple of weeks ago, and you're on a high. You got Ronaldo, but please leave that alone.
What do you think? Anyway, while you're here, he said Oscar Rashid is saying what he's disagreeing with. We should boycott at the very last minute. Do you think that's a good idea?
No. I thought originally I posted on social media. I thought that would be a good way to do it. But I think let's go and win it. This is the way it is. Let's go and win it, and that's the way to.
Seriously, if I was the coach, I mean, you very. They don't need a coach. Honestly, if I was the captain of Pakistan team in that World Cup, I would say to him, Dosto, this is do or die. Every match, win or lose, doesn't matter. We can be out for 30, we can make 300. But you know what? Them batsmen, whoever walk out, you know what? Just see it and just go for it. There should be absolute, that spirit of 92, because really, that's the best way. And if Pakistan win, it'll be a great booster, and it will be a slap on the face of our distractors. Akil says, don't boycott. I agree with Masood. Yeah, but I think that's not the way. I'm just bati. I'm not killing it, not killing it. They get, when you used to play cricket as a youngster, the guy who used to own the cricket bat used to walk off with the cricket bat. We can't be doing that.
Was that you as well?
No, it was normally Akil used to do that. But the thing is, but what we'll do, inshallah, Masood, we're going to carry on this topic through the T20, inshallah. And, you need to promise me I have to get Rashid or Inzibai or Yunus Khan, one of them. We need to do this one again with them as well. And we need to ask the big boys. I'm going to text Mirza Iqbal Beg as well, my good friend. And I've texted him. He's a bit busy, obviously, with this issue. I'm trying to bring him on as well. And, even on your radio show, if you need me, we'll talk about this. Because really, what we need to do as a Pakistani qawm, that we need to G up our qawm. We need to be proud to be Pakistani. We are the nation of legends. We are, let's say this, Masood Bhai. Let's say this with pride. We are the legend of Imran Khan, Javed Mirdad.
We're the legends.
Reverse swing. We taught you how to reverse swing. We are the elegance of. We are the Rawalpindi Express with the hair flowing and the helicopter style. We are the coolness of Shahid Afridi Sixes. We are Pakistan, and you know what? I said to you, I left cricket, and I've kind of got a bit. I was just a bit hurt by it. But you know what? I'm going to fight back in this World Cup, and you'll see me rising the green and white flag, and we're going to all cheer on Pakistan. I don't care if it's every single match, but we're with them all the way, because they, as Ramiz Raja said that, and they deserve that. This is the time for 220 million Pakistanis to say, Dil Pakistan.
Bilkul, I agree, totally agree with you. I think it's time we supported the whole nation. I mean, it's just, again, it's that situation where we've got our backs to the wall. It's time to get out, come and support everybody. I'm going to try see if I can persuade the family to let me go across to UAE. I want to be there. I want to. I've got my old INSI shirt. I'll get that out, get it on, and I'll be there in the INSI in person.
I was thinking of going, but that list is finished as well, so much. So that's good. I was thinking of going to Pakistan, make an excuse to the missus, and just say I'm going to Pakistan and go via Dubai and watch a couple of matches as well. But I mean, some of the politicians in Pakistan, Masood Bhai.
I mean, no, that's shocking. That's shocking. I mean, we should be doing that maybe tomorrow. I mean, we need to speak.
I'm going to debate on the politics of this tomorrow, maybe, or Tuesday. Yeah. I'll bring you in there as well, and you can talk on the cricket issue, but on the political, because honestly, what I don't get about my nation and my people, I don't care which government it is. It's not about Imran Khan or PTI. When it comes to your national interest, you look at the UK, England, things happen. When it comes to the Americans, the everybody, when it comes to national interest, nations stand on one page. They say, instead of that, our opposition, a few people said, they were mocking Imran Khan, which was really, really disrespectful. What I would have done as opposition leader, I would have said, look, I'm not saying anything about the government, but we are stand with the PCB, we're with the Pakistan cricket team, and we think Pakistan is a safe country, so please come to Pakistan. Instead of mocking each other, this is something that needs to stop. And really, really, as a nation, we all need to come together sometimes on national interest. And that's the reason our youngsters don't get interested in politics, and they don't look at these people, don't respect these people. But this kind of mindset, we've got such a revengeful mindset. We don't even look. We don't even know what national interest is, Masood Bhai.
No, that's the saddest thing of all of this. That what's being seen from Pakistani people, like what you just said, politicians. I have seen one or two tweets, and I'm so flabbergasted how politics, your political parties, whichever they are, who cares, right? This is the nation's issue. You stand shoulder to shoulder with every single individual from your country.
Exactly.
And you rise as a country. You will rise as a country when your only one, common goal should be the nation of Pakistan. Forget the politics. I'm totally against any political leader, whether it's Imran Khan or anybody else, who want everything done for themselves. I think and all the overseas Pakistanis seem to have this one common interest or common goal of the thought, the process, is that Pakistan is the nation that we should be doing things, not political affiliations. No political party leader we should be following. We should be our only interest should be Pakistan, and that's it.
That's it. Masood Bhai, thank you very much. Inshallah, I'll be contacting you again on these issues, and look after yourself, and Dil Pakistan.
Dil Pakistan. Thank you to everybody, especially everybody who's been making comments, and you can carry on social.
Keep promising you to Bradistan. I'll see you soon, inshallah, for a cup of, we make good tea.
I know you do.
Okay, Masood. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Take care. That's Masood Sadiq Saab. And he's from Bradford. He's a broadcaster. BBC के मेरे बड़े पुराने colleague हैं. Very, very long time when I was in the BBC. And उसके साथ we've been friends for a long time. MashaAllah, he's a broadcaster and an avid fan of Pakistan cricket. But मेरा आखिरी पैगाम यही है, और मैं शफाकत फैक्टर आप मेरे प्रोग्राम देखें. मैं क्रिकेट पर और सियासत पर सब चीजों पर बात करूंगा, और खुलकर हम बातें करेंगे. अभी तो पार्टी शुरू हुई है. आप देखेंगे यहाँ डिबेट होंगी जो जिस स्टाइल से होंगी और प्रोफेशनल तरीके से होंगी, लेकिन फैक्ट एंड फिगर्स पर होंगी और openly with respect to everybody. Lekin we're gonna hit hard talk. This time we need to talk frank but with respect for each other. But Pakistan, inshallah, will live to fight another day. We are with Pakistan. We're 110% with the Pakistan cricket team. I'm back supporting them as well. I'm with Ramiz Raja and Babar Azam and the boys in green. Go for it, boys. Win that World Cup. Take it back to Pakistan. And you know what I say to everybody? If you want to have tea, come and get it from us in Pakistan. Allah Hafiz, Pakistan Zindabad.